to open it up to questions from yourselves. Please type any questions into the chat throughout the session and the panel will answer these at the end of the initial discussion. We'll start by introducing our panel. So my name is Lily and I'll be hosting this discussion. Over to Sean.
Yeah, I'm Sean. I'm one of the tutors for Ixion, and we deliver traineeships right across the country. Yeah, and I've been involved with Ixion for 3 years now, delivering these.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Sean. Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm the recruitment officer for the traineeships.
Lovely. Thank you, Lauren. And Lisa?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Lisa Brooks. I'm head of traineeships here at Ixion.
Lovely, thank you very much. So that's our panel for today's discussion. And we'll start off the discussion with the first question, and that is, what are traineeships? And we'll direct this one to Lisa.
Hi, yes. So traineeships are an opportunity for young people aged 16 to 24. Gives them the advantage of coming onto a course which is going to support them to gain some valuable skills in terms of job search and employment related, but also we aim to get them into a workplace to offer them work experience. And this supports them in terms of building their confidence, getting them to actually see, smell, touch what work experience is like for them. But they also benefit from being with an employer who's going to give them some constructive work experience to continue on with as well. The employer will give them a mentor who will support them, provide them feedback during the work experience. And at the end of the work experience, they receive an exit interview, for want of a better way of putting it, a conversation with the employer, highlighting what they've done well, areas they may need to support and improve on, but it gives them the opportunity to take this valued experience forward to other employers as their job search possibly goes on. It's also another really good opportunity for them to network as well. You'd be surprised out there, if you've done work experience in a particular sector, how sectors do tend to sort of, everybody knows everybody, don't they? So it's a great again, chance for them to say, yes, I did some work experience in so-and-so, and that looks then formidable on an application form or CV because the links are already there. The traineeships themselves tend to run for around 6 weeks, and the young people who participate will leave with a level 1 award in work skills, which is an edXL qualification, which can go onto their CV. They'll also receive support as well around their maths and English. And those that are capable of going forward to take an exam or to receive tutor-based assessments, we'll get them through them as soon as possible. But what we don't want to do is add the pressure of putting them through a functional skills qualification within 6 weeks. It's about supporting them into employment, really. The whole point of the traineeship is it's there to boost the confidence of young people as well, and help them in terms of acknowledging the skills that employers value, which is not always built around qualifications. I was talking to an employer last week and he was saying, skills I can teach, it's personality that I need within my team. And that's what we tend to spend a lot of time with the young people going through, as well as underpinning that with skills, is building their confidence so that they're better communicators. They're able to act as part of a team and support other people as well. Those are the things in reality that a lot of employers are looking for. They're thinking, will this person be a fit for my team? Will they fit my organisation and my values? So it's quite a rounded experience that we're offering to these young people. And the reason we do it over a short period is so that they can have that quick injection of support that they're probably needing, just to help them to get their confidence strong enough or their self-belief high enough that they feel that they're ready to go out there, start applying for jobs and going through interviews. And as we all know now, interviews are changing. It's no longer always face-to-face, it's through Teams. So we do work with them on interview skills, how to prepare, how to research organisation, what questions they might ask. So it is that supporting network that fits around them. While they're on the traineeship, the delivery at the moment, while we're in the COVID world and until it's safe to do so, we have been operating remotely. We've been operating via Teams for young people, so they've had 2 to 3 days of delivery from their tutor. They're assigned their own tutor. They'll be going through the work skills portfolio with them and all other activities. We do set them some independent learning to do as well, because it's about supporting and enabling them to be independent individuals and learners, because again, that's another skill valued by employers. And then during that week, they'll also have the opportunity to improve, as I said earlier, their functional skills, English and maths, and digital skills as well is already embedded into it. We aim to get them work experience within the 3rd to 4th week. So we aim to have an employer on board, and we spend a lot of time speaking to the young people around what particular sectors it is that they want to go in. And we've got contacts with employers nationwide that we can actually reach out to and say, we've got a young person here who would like to have the experience within your sector. Employers are quite happy to do this and work with us, because for them it fits a lot of their values, but also they are getting to build the skills of their own team by assigning mentors. So it's a real win-win for everybody. And then just to put a cherry on top, to support young people while they are on the traineeship with us, they are able to receive a £40 a week bursary, and the bursary is to go towards learning costs. It may mean that they need to go out there and buy some pens and notepads, for example. They can use the bursary towards that. And while they go on to work experience, we will also pay, upon receipt of receipts, we pay travel costs for them. So from start right through to completion, we are looking at supporting these young people into employment. We also work very closely with our apprenticeship team at Ixion, and we're constantly updating any local vacancies for young people with apprenticeships within their chosen sector. So again, we will do our best to support and handhold them through apprenticeship applications as well, because the main outcomes for a traineeship is that the young person is confident and competent enough to either move into employment, apprenticeship, or even they may want to go back into education again to gain a vocational qualification towards their work. Wow, I can breathe now.
Thank you so much for all that information, Lisa. Very, very helpful. Sean, would you like to add any more comments onto what Lisa has said?
She's covered quite a lot of what we do, but from the teaching element, should we say, we've run 2 traineeships up in the northeast of England. That's through Banks Mining, and they've given us access into their facilities basically. And we try not to have them as boring traineeships. We try and develop them skills of confidence building. We are mainly construction tutor, so we get a lot of people that want to go in the construction industry. At the end of that, you do 4 units or 5 units, and then a health and safety test, and then we also pay for our for your CSCS card. So when the traineeship is complete, you're ready to go. Hopefully you built enough confidence up and you're ready to start applying for jobs within the construction industry.
Lovely, thank you very much, Sean. The next question is, who are traineeships for? I know, Lisa, you did touch on that. Would you like to add any more to that question?
Yeah, traineeships are for everybody, and they're for everybody who's aged 16 to 24 or 25 if they've got an additional education healthcare plan in play. The primary recruitment strategy, or I'm trying to think of the word now. The primary criteria, that's the word. The criteria is that they have to be neat. So they have to be not in education, employment or training currently. So that is the primary. They don't have to have qualifications, so we can take them from no qualifications right up to their first level 3 as well. And that supports a lot of people. Just because you've got a level 3 qualification doesn't mean that you're confident enough to go into employment. We find with a lot of young people, they've not had the greatest experience at school or even at college. There can be things that happened that have knocked them back, for example, the pandemic, or things that have happened at home or amongst their peer group. And they may also themselves be suffering from mental health issues, or they may have any learning difficulties that we need to support them with. So we are able to support all our young people in these particular situations.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Lisa. Over to you, Sean.
Yeah, so I'll just touch on, Lisa's basically covered everything, but the types of people that come on these courses, it doesn't matter where you're from, what walk of life you're from, you treat exactly the same, 100%. That's my biggest pride. The qualifications, yes, we deliver them, but my biggest thing is building people. We've getting lads into employment through them, and lasses, but the biggest thing is when you come on these courses, you don't have to have any experience whatsoever, and we don't expect, we would like you to walk away with skills. That doesn't have to be carpentry, joinery, plastering, or painting, decorating. That can just be your confidence is raised up so high, and you can walk into an interview and be able to sit there and confidently talk about yourself. A lot of people, that's very hard to do. I'll use an example. We had a lad on a course. I won't use his name, but he had no confidence, and he came and he wasn't talking to anybody by the end, at the beginning of the course, and one thing or another. By the end of the course, we couldn't shut him up, and he ended up, they were all 19 plus, and he ended up in the pub on the Friday night with the lads from the course, and he made some really good friends on that. Now that, to me, doesn't matter what else he took from that course, he had friends out of that. 2 weeks later, he had the confidence. He was humming and hawing about a job interview at a cricket ground, and he was humming and hawing, I haven't got the confidence. So everyone J'd him up, and everyone was ringing him, texting him, are you taking the job, are you going for the job? And sure enough, he went and got the job 2 weeks later. And he didn't need the qualifications. It sounds daft, but he had that work experience. I was used as a reference for that. I spoke to the employer as well, and that was a year and a half ago, and he's still there now. He's still there now.
So, that's so lovely to hear that.
We do check in on progression, stuff like that, and if you're local to the area, 9 times out of 10, you'll know the tutors, or you'll know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So we do ask and find out how you do. With it being an employer as well, we'll drop emails and phone calls to ask how you get on.
Lovely. That's really lovely. Thank you very much both for your answers. The next question is, what are the benefits of traineeships? And we'll start off with Lisa for this one.
Yeah, do you know, to follow on from what Sean said, I think one of the main benefits of traineeships is to get the young people together, to get them in a group of others who are going through a very similar situation. And that a lot of the feedback we get from them at the end of the course is completely humbling, that they feel that they've had the opportunity to spend time with their tutor. They're given one-to-one support where necessary. We are putting them with employers that have been carefully checked in terms of ensuring that the health and safety and the risk assessments are in place for them. So I think with a lot of it, the growth that we see in them from week 1 to the young person at week 6 is, if you could take a Polaroid picture of them, it's very humbling, isn't it, Sean? It's an amazing thing for them to go through. So that is a huge benefit itself. And I think one of the other main benefits of it is the fact that they are getting to dip their toe in the water in the industry that they're choosing to go into. You know, we've had young people who've said, you know, I definitely want to work with young children and babies. I definitely want to do it, you know, and then at the end of the traineeship, they've gone, oh, it wasn't as much fun as I thought. It was very, very messy, and we had a lot of things to do. You know,
the parent.
Yeah, it is. You know, and again, we've had young people who've said, you know, I really want to go into construction, and I want to go and get my CSCS card, and I think that once I've got my CSCS card out, I'll be out there and I can be self-employed and I can do this. But once they've been on site and they've experienced actually what it is on site, it gives them more options in terms of what they want to do, and it also provides them with the ability to make a more informed decision for their future. Hair and beauty, whether they've gone into renting their own chair or setting up their own business. We've done warehousing, where people have wanted to go into warehousing and then said, actually, no, I don't like being indoors all the while. I want to be working more outdoors, or I want to be working more with people. And these are things that we probably take for granted. But until you've been and tried it, until you're able to look back and have that feedback, it is quite an enlightening experience for them, for want of a better way to put it. And we're very, very fortunate that we've got some contacts with some really good employers who are willing to do this and support these young people through it. The other benefit of it as well, we do get a lot of young people who come to us who, like I said earlier, school wasn't the greatest experience for them, or college, and they'll leave with their first ever qualification with us, and we've already started to underpin their maths and English. So if they progress onto an apprenticeship, we've already put those stepping stones in there for them. Such a short, sharp shock when they go into it.
That's amazing. Thank you very much, Lisa. Sean?
Basically, on that point, when you come to traineeship, they're very different to school. The way I do it, I'm not saying everyone does it the same as me, but you'll be treated like an adult. If we do practical in workplace, you will be treated like you're at work. So you've got to show up on time. You've got to have that accountability for everything that you do. You've got to take responsibility. And that sounds like it's been negative, but it's not. Once you start taking accountability for stuff, start taking pride in work. And I've seen it. I've seen people come in that they couldn't care less when they first come in. And it's like, when you say, well, actually, if you do it right, and such over there is doing it really good. Next thing, there's a little bit of competition there. I don't think we're allowed to do it in school. I don't think everyone gets a medal if they win something or lose. They get the same thing. Whereas we put the scores for the CSCS cards. We do tests every day. It's just revision. So we put them on the board, and that would horrify people. But when they see themselves actually getting better than other people, everybody starts working harder on it, and it's how we do it. And on the traineeships, I know definitely with mine, and you'll probably gather that they're not straightforward. It is a good laugh. You've got to have that side of it. There is banter in a workplace. We have it within Ixion. We don't just turn up in offices and not talk to anybody. Management probably expect that and like that, but we don't. And it's not the real world to do that, and not to sit in the classroom absolutely silent. You don't have to put your hands up and things like that. It's a life experience. That's the only way I can put it. We try to do it more. I do it focused on the workplace, because my aim out of everything is you're walking out there and getting a job or progression.
Yeah. I agree with you. At the end of each course, the trainees actually complete a feedback survey for us. And when I start to look at the feedback and collate it, and you see, where it's the little things like I was able to develop, somebody believed in me, I think was one of the ones that really stuck with me. Was I've always felt that nobody's really believed or trusted in me, and I really felt that my tutor took the time to be and understand me, and I really do feel more confident now. The fact that we've been able to have a laugh, and it reflects the world of work, and that is important, because that is one of the biggest transitions for young people. I mean, we do a transition from junior school into senior school, but nobody seems to do a transition from school into the workplace and what employers expect. And it is the simple things in life, like, turning up on time, making sure you've got all your equipment, making sure that, you're fresh and ready for the day, and you'll talk and chat to the rest of your colleagues. And if you're tired or if you're ill, that you do your best to inform your employer. It is those simple underpinning strengths that employers are looking for, and traineeships is a good way again of letting people realise what the world of work actually is for them.
Lovely, thank you very much, Lisa. Lauren, do you have any comments you'd like to add on to that?
I think it's really just tapping on what everyone else has said. Obviously, from my own experience starting on a traineeship, I gained a hell of a lot of confidence to even be sat here today. I know back before the traineeship, I couldn't have done this. And I do think it is an amazing experience. Like you say, it's that stepping stone into work. And from my experience, I had no idea what I was walking into in the work life, and the traineeship just helped me with that. And like from that, I was able to go into employment. So it was an amazing experience for myself, and I can say that for a lot of people I know.
Lovely, that's really lovely to hear. Thank you, Lauren. The next question is, tell us more about the work experience placements, and we'll start this off with Lisa.
You're all fed up of me talking. So the work experience placements, we do expect to do a minimum of 70 guided learning hours work experience with an employer for the young people. And that is just 2 weeks, really, if you think about it. But some employers want to offer more work experience because they feel that 2 weeks is probably not enough for a young person to come into the organisation and really get the, feel under the skin of what it's like to be in that particular sector. So we can do it from 2 weeks right up until 6 months. But to be honest with you, the majority of them tend to last between 2 and 4 weeks for young people and employers. The work experience itself is either split within day release from the course, so we tend to try and get them in for 2 consecutive days. But if we're working with an employer who has a ability to offer 2 weeks solid work experience, then we offer we'll look at 2 weeks. So it's all very much around making it bespoke for the employer, but also for the young person as well, because we don't tend to get them on work experience within week 1. What we want to do within that initial week is support them within the classroom, start to get to know them a little bit more, and then by week 3 we've got an employer on board who can support them within that workplace. And we've gone through a variety of sectors, through health and social care, through retail, teaching assistant, construction, hair and beauty. It's quite wide ranging. Sometimes we get young people come to us who have very, very specialist ideas of where they want to be. We've had one young lady recently who wants to have work experience within falconry. And unfortunately, as we know, everywhere falconry wise has been closed due to government lockdown restrictions. So we've looked at getting her work experience in customer service, because we've looked at what other elements within the falconry centre that they would expect somebody to have. We've not closed the door on that for her. We've also put together some very specific searches and supported her in terms of cover letters, so that when we go on Boris's roadmap to recovery, that she's able to reach out to them and highlight the skills that she's picked up through the traineeship and the experience that she's had, in order to get them in to do some perhaps further work experience, volunteering or apply for roles. So wherever possible, we are looking to find an ideal fit. We have been offering remote work experience as well, because a lot of the delivery has been remote. We've found employers who've come on board and we've been able to think out the box with them, and they've said, yeah, I've got various sites across various areas, and we've looked at where we can do some remote work experience for them, where they've been involved in team meetings, where they've took on projects as part of a project that's being developed within a company. They've gone into procurement, HR. They've also supported on call centres in episodes where they've experienced customer service in that side. So just because we've had the pandemic, we've always ensured where possible we can offer work experience as long as it's safe to do so.
Lovely, thank you very much, Lisa. Lauren, would you like to speak about your work experience placement?
Yeah, so again, from experience, when I was on the traineeship, I first went on a placement in a childcare setting. I think I was there for a short while and realised that's not for me. The noise, again, the mess, it was a nightmare. Not saying it's not for everyone, but it wasn't for me. But I had the opportunity to go into a business admin placement with Ixion. And through that, I gained, again, a lot more confidence, independence in myself, obviously being comfortable where I was, to then being able to go into an interview with Ixion and getting an apprenticeship through them. So there is always opportunities after work experience. I'm not saying that like all employers will, but quite a vast majority that I know have done that.
Brilliant. Lovely, thank you. Thank you, Lauren. The next question is, what is the application process? And another one for Lisa.
Right. wish there was another Lisa on this call.
Anyone else?
The application process is very, very straightforward. You can apply via the ICSIM website, so that's one opportunity for you. You can get in touch with us through our email, and all the details will be sent to you at the end of the call, I think. Is that right, Lily?
Yes, I believe so. There will be a little follow-up email that will be going across at the end.
Yeah, and on there we will attach an application or referral form. It's quite a basic form. It's very straightforward. What we're looking for is just some details around the young person that's either being referred or the young person that's referring themselves. So just the basics: name, address, date of birth. We do need national insurance number. We want to know what sector it is that they're particularly interested in. We'd also like to know a little bit more about them in terms of if they've got any qualifications or they've been on work experience elsewhere. If they can let us know if they've any concerns at all, or barriers that they think we need to be aware of in terms of if there's a learning difficulty, if they've suffered from lack of confidence or anxiety, those types of things, so that, you know, we're aware of those and we can support them and make reasonable adjustments in order to support them. The application form also asks them what it is in terms of, I've said it, what work experience it is that they're looking to go for, and anything else that we need to be aware of. The main thing we also need to point out is that they will need some ID, and the ID that we accept is we need birth certificate, or we need passport or a UK identity card, because we have to make sure that the young person applying is the young person, because it's part of our safeguarding policy.
Lovely.
Have I missed anything, Lauren? Because Lauren deals with these now as well.
Oh, over to you, Lauren.
No, I think, yeah, it is essential that we do need the ID and national insurance number, as in a lot of cases we are chasing for that, and it can just hold up, and we don't want to hold up them any further than what they are, so we do kind of need that straight away if possible.
Lovely. Thank you very much for both of your answers. And the next question is, what progression routes are available? And we'll start with Sean.
Right, so I don't want to use this as an example. So we try, especially in the Northeast, we've done it with Banks Mining. They've got loads of elements to the business, not just mining. That's coming to an end now, but we always try and get interviews with employers, agencies. We'll direct them, we give them interview skills. We'll sit there and go through, and anybody that's nervous, I think we try and just step and repeat, keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And it is one of them things you build confidence with doing it more. So I tried to get him on the call today. Morgan, he's my shining star, should we say. But Morgan came on the course, and he was a young lad. He was only 18. And when he come on the course, he stood out a little bit from the beginning. He was always keen. He was sometimes over keen. He was always behind me. He was like my shadow. But he progressed. He wanted to work. He showed how enthusiastic he was. And we got everybody on the course for job interviews. There was 2 jobs came up for Banks. One fell by the wayside due to the economic climate. But everybody went, and they were torn between 3 out of 6 people. So they came back to us and asked our opinion. And then ultimately it was Banks's choice. So they chose Morgan. Morgan went on to start a level 2 plant apprenticeship, which I'm his tutor. He completed that in August last year, or September. And I think he's moving on to a level 3, possibly plant maintenance. But Morgan came in, didn't have a clue what he wanted to do, and he's grown really, really. In 2-3 years I've been working with him, and that's not because of me, that's because of what Morgan's done. He said at the beginning, and conversations I've had through his apprenticeship, he would not have gone into that environment and thought he loved it. And he's working on 150 ton dumpers and stuff like that. Wow. And the sky's the limit with him because he's a nice lad.
Yeah.
But from a personal note, in the Northeast, I know quite a few agencies because I used to work for them. So I will push outside of the remit to try and just get anybody into work. But when you come onto these courses, you've got to shine. You've got to be the one that's trying. You don't have to be brilliant at everything. You've just got to be trying. So we can see progression from the start to the end. That's pretty much it.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Sean. Lisa, would you like to add anything on with regards to the progression routes that are available?
Yeah, I mean, the progression routes is we try where possible, like I've said, to work with employers, and we have been recently helping employers to take advantage of the new incentives that are available for them in terms of an employer takes on a traineeship, they're enabled to access up to £1,000 per trainee that they offer work experience to. If this leads to an apprenticeship, if they've got an apprenticeship vacancy, they can access a further amount of funding through that incentive. So we have been offering apprenticeship, what we've called apprenticeship pathways, because employers come to us, and I'm sure Sean can back me up on this, they really struggle to recruit apprentices. You know, the applications are there, and you know, we've had vacancies before. I think it was down in the southeast, there was a vacancy for 4 apprenticeships, and we had over 50 applications that came into it. And it's a case of sifting and shortlisting and getting them through and into interview. And again, employers still struggle at that point. Whereas if they've had a young person in on work experience and they've got to know them and they've got that ability to see how they're going to fit in their team, it gives them the opportunity as well to think, yes, we've got to know that person. We know there's a few quirky bits about them. We know they're a bit rough around the edges, but that's not a problem. We can work on that with them because we can see that potential. So that's another important element of the traineeship. And we've also had it before in the past where an employer has come back to a young person and said, look, I haven't got a vacancy at this point, but please keep in touch with us. Please keep an eye on what's happening, because we would love to receive an application from you. We've also worked with colleges and further educations, and we've had learners who've come on, particularly, I think one example is the hair and beauty, where they've come on and they've done traineeships with us. They've had some work experience, and then they've wanted to go into either setting up their own business or working in renting a chair or whatever in a salon, and they've gone on to a level 3 course to improve their skills as well. They've taken on a level 3 learner loan just to improve their own knowledge, and it's given them that confidence to do that. It really is, it's something else to say, as Sean said.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Lisa. That is the end of the initial discussion. We will now open up the chat box for anyone that is listening to pop any questions in that they have. I have noticed that some have come in already. So we'll start off with the first one, and that is, most of my clients are interested in construction and gaining a CSCS. Do you have any opportunities in Northamptonshire? And I'll open that up to all of you, if any of you have any answers that you'd like to present.
Oh yes, that's quite a specific region at the moment. I don't have anything available with construction in Northamptonshire. We are building our capacity in order to be able to offer the CSCS as part of the traineeships. We've started off initially offering in the northeast, and then we've been using that as the ability to use that model and take it elsewhere. At the moment, we're looking to recruit a tutor, because people like Sean are like unicorns. They are quite a rare commodity to get. So it's about making sure we've got the right tutors in place so that we can offer that.
We need more unicorns then, don't we, Lisa?
I've been called a lot of things, never a unicorn.
Well, lovely. Thank you very much, Lisa, and thank you for that question. The next question is from Mandeep, and the question is, do you support young people Pan London? We are based in West London area, and it would be good to have a direct contact for your London-based opportunities.
Do you know what? That's a cracking question. Thanks for bringing that up, because I forgot to mention it. Yeah, traineeships are available throughout the UK. They're not impacted at all by devolved areas. So we can run traineeships anywhere within, sorry, I've said UK, it's England. We can't do Scotland, Ireland and Wales, but we can offer them throughout the UK. So devolved areas do not impact on us. So unlike adult education budget, we're able to take people from those areas. The point of contact would be our lovely Lauren, and you can reach her through the traineeship mailbox, which we'll give you details of at the end of the call as part of the follow-up.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Lisa. And thank you, Mandeep, for that question. The next question that has come in is, how quickly do you contact people after receiving the referral form?
Yeah, one for me and Lauren again. We aim to contact people within 72 hours. We do get quite a few referrals through. We're dealing with at the moment with at least, I think we're up to almost 200 a month at the moment. So we do aim to contact them within 72 hours. The way we contact them is we'll phone and we'll text. So please, if you're referring anybody, just say to them, you know, you may get a number that comes up that you don't recognise or is withheld. If you don't feel confident and competent in answering it, just listen to the message that's attached, because it will probably be us following you up. We do email as well, but one of the things we do find is young people don't always pick their emails up, so please remind them that they need to do that. Part of the contact is they'll receive a welcome letter from us, just identifying that we've picked up that they're interested in a traineeship, and then letting them know the next steps, and also again going back to the fact that we're going to need that national insurance and form of ID from them.
Lovely, thank you very much, Lisa. Just while we wait to see if any more come in, so everyone feel free to pop any questions in there that you do have. Now is your chance. And a question that did come in earlier was, how long do traineeships last for?
Yeah, the minimum that we run a traineeship for is 6 weeks, which enables us to do that short, sharp intervention in order supporting people into employment. Occasionally, we will have employers who do want us to run them over a longer period. We've run them up to 12 weeks before. So that's why you've seen a lot of our literature, it's 6 to 12 weeks. And the 12 weeks is purely mainly because the employer may have some specific sector training that they want the trainee to take part in before they come into the workplace.
Lovely, thank you very much, Lisa. I don't believe that there are any more. Oh, one has just come through, and it is, do traineeships get paid?
Yes, well, they receive a £40 a week bursary. So the bursary starts from the first week that they join the traineeship, and it finishes when they complete the traineeship. The £40 is based on their attendance. It's also based on them completing the work that they're given as well. We're not complete ogres. If somebody's, you know, rang in sick that day, they've got a bellyache or a headache, we can cope with that. But if it becomes a consistent or persistent issue, then that would impact them on receiving their their bursary as well. It works very well, and it doesn't impact on them as well if they're in receipt of other benefits. So the £40 is there to support them while they're on the traineeship. As I said earlier, with a lot of young people, they use it with materials that they may need, you know, pens, A4 pads, topping up their mobile phone if they need to do some work on their mobile phone.
Lovely, thank you very much, Lisa. And I've just noticed another question has come in. This is from Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. And Jamie's question is, have you got any opportunities in Cambridgeshire?
Yeah, we have opportunities nationwide at the moment, and as I've said, we haven't got anything within Cambridgeshire that is employer specific currently, but we can get the young person or young people onto a generic traineeship, and then we'll seek employers in that location for them that are able to offer them work experience.
Lovely, thank you very much, Lisa. And a question from Andrea is, as I refer, when the introduction email is sent out, can the refer be copied in brackets to support the young person to respond?
Again, great question. I forgot to mention that. Yes, we do. So when we respond and send the young person the welcome note, we do CC the advisor in who's referred them so that they can support them. And again, once we've got them on course, and we'll send them a course date, a start date, we'll also CC the advisor in there. What we do encourage the tutors to do as well is that if we find that the young person's attendance has dropped off, or if there's any particular issues that we may think that they need support, we'll again go back to the advisor. I think one of the key roles that the advisors can play, or anybody who's referring into traineeships, is to make them aware that they will be doing a maths and English assessment on their first day. This is not to test how good their maths and English is. This is not a pass or fail. It's purely to make sure that we are delivering the course at the right level for them. So on day one induction, I think the assessment takes them possibly 20 minutes to do, and it's just so we as in education and Jamie, Sean will know this in terms of it's about making sure that the delivery is at the right pace for them so that they're able to cope with what we're teaching them.
On that note, sorry, Lily.
That's right.
Doesn't matter what level. If your writing's terrible, if your spelling's terrible, that's fine. We work around that. Mine's terrible. My feedback, people can't normally read it. But no, I had boundaries like that when I was younger, and it was actually one of our own tutors, functional skills tutor, who I couldn't get past my maths till he realised it was more to do with my English, why I couldn't get through my maths. That's a whole new story, and I got through it. But I will find, or our tutors will find, some sort of assessment process that works. If you can speak the questions, we'll just record it, we write it. It doesn't matter. We can do professional discussions. There's always a way or an assessment method to get the questions there, because you might have the answers in your head, but you can't put them on paper. And that's just human nature. Sometimes some people can speak in front of people, some can't, and it's just different attributes people's got. It's just finding the right one that works for yourself.
Lovely. Thank you for your added comments, Sean, and thank you both for answering those. I believe that there are no more questions currently in the chat box, so we'll close that now. Does anybody have any comments from the panel that they would like to add before we close the discussion?
No, I think I'd just like to thank everybody for taking the time and coming on the call to find out more about traineeships. I realise in the past traineeships have had a bit of a poor reputation through the press, and that's through the press misunderstanding and misrepresenting, and they don't understand the value. I think if the press instead spent its time talking to the young people and saw the difference that we saw, then I think it would be much more positive. But I don't think positive news sells newspapers, does it?
No.
I can agree with you there. Lauren and Sean?
If anybody's sitting on the fence, just it's not going to hurt to send an email or log on the website. You might get a good tutor who likes a bit of a laugh and a joke like yourself, so it's always a bonus. But yeah, but on a serious note, it is well worth it, and we are. You're not just there to put numbers on seats. You're there to progress, and all of our tutors, that's what you're there for. The tutors first and foremost are there to progress you, get you into work, not for any economic reason or anything like that, just because we get a buzz out of it. If I hear one of my learners or students is gone on to do something because of something we've taught them, that's brilliant. Some come on in the like construction based. One lad wanted to be a joiner all of his life, realised it was quite hard work, and there was a lot of other things, aspects involved. And he was like, oh, I don't want to do that. But he went on to do work outside as a landscaper because of how we basically sat down and said, well, what do you want to do? We always want to work outside, and it's just finding that niche with them. That's all.
It's really nice to hear positive stories, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. But good luck, everybody.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. If anybody else does have any other questions, we will be sending up a follow-up email shortly after this discussion has ended, or alternatively you can visit our website, and you can also pop an email over to traineeships@ixienholdings.com. I've just noticed that a lady called Lucy has put thank you. That was very helpful. Thank you for that positive feedback. So thank you very much to all of our panel for joining today's discussion. Thank you for everyone that has listened, and I hope you've taken away some valuable information about traineeships. And take care and stay safe, and hope to see you all on the next webinar. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.